How's everyone doing? How you doing? Oh my god. I'm broke. Being broke sucks. I don't even have $1 to my name. I know you want me. It's not a secret I try to hide. 'Cause I can't have you. Cause you know you're in my heart, you know, my destiny. Rewrite the stars all the way to mine. Nothing can keep us apart. You are the one, 'cause we're to be fine. And up to you is not up to me. You're the way, 'cause we will be able to rewrite the stars. You're the world to be yours tonight. That's if anybody's generous enough to donate. I thought it was gonna happen, but I haven't had a donation in months. I know I want you. It's not a secret I try to hide. 'Cause I can't have you. You know I'm not in the cars, pulling me on. 'Cause you're in my heart, 'cause you're my destiny. 'Cause we will rewrite the stars, cover the world. It's not up to you, it's not up to me. Cause the world, 'cause this could be where we rewrite the stars. The world could be ours tonight. All I want is to fall with you. All I want is to fall with you. There's nothing to fall. Nothing's impossible. Cause if you rewrite the stars, cause the world could be yours. Nothing can keep us apart. You're in the one causing them to be fine. It's not up to you. It's not up to me. Yeah, the world that this could be. Cause of the rewrite the stars. Girl, the world could be ours tonight. I think it's easy. I don't wanna run to you, cause there are mountains. Echo, play Rewrite the Stars.
Rewrite the Stars by Zac Efron and Zendaya on Amazon Music.
You know I want you. It's not a secret I try to hide. I know you want me. So don't keep saying our hands untied. You claim it's not in the cards, but fate is pulling you miles away and out of reach from me. But you're here in my heart, so who can stop me if I decide that you're my destiny? What if we rewrite the stars? Say you were meant to be mine. Nothing could keep us apart. You'd be the one I was meant to find. It's not up to you, it's not up to me. No, there's no way we could be. Where we rewrite the stars, carry the world to be ours tonight. It's just easy. My fridge and everything's empty. If I show you, you'll be what the fuck? There are mountains that are driving the people through. You do it wondering why. Cause we're able to be just you and me within these walls. I don't even have water. I have to drink tap. It's not up to you, it's not up to me. When everyone tells us what we can be, how can we rewrite the stars? Say that the world can be ours tonight. All I want is to fly. Yeah, mental health problems. Echo, stop. Yeah, I'm being honest. Echo, you're not being mean. I have mental health problems. I suffer from depression and anxiety. And I also have ADHD. Thanks for asking. Not really. I usually talk to my therapist. Everything is fucking expensive. If I show you my fridge, I got nothing. I get what, like $1,000 a month? That's not enough to survive. Like, the government needs to do better when it comes to us. Like, how they expect us? How you expect us to to eat? Like, it sucks. Like, people don't want to be begging for money. Like, if I had, that's why I'm going live. I've been going live. I haven't got. If the last time I got a donation, I think it's February. Somebody donated to my Cash App, and I appreciate it. Every dollar counts. Every fucking dollar counts. So you could donate to my Cash App, Venmo, or Zelle. It's on it's right here. It tells you right there. If you if people donate, just tell me where they send it. I don't know. I don't know who's over tree. And being poor, being thank you, Sean B. Being poor does suck. Like I don't understand why rich people complain that they don't like spending money, cause they don't struggle. But like if I'm a rich person, I wouldn't be complaining. Sean B, can you send me that same link that you just posted to send it to me on Facebook? Yes. So I can cuz I'm going to keep it cuz I'm going to start posting that one. Everything's expensive. I think, to be honest, if the government gave, cuz I got SSI. I don't know who could relate to me, who else gets disability, but hi Owl. But that I think if I had to be honest, maybe, thank you, bro. Maybe $2,000 a month. That should I would be able to survive. Maybe 2,500, but you know, and life does suck sometimes. But I collect water bottles and stuff and recycle it because everything's expensive. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, bro. Like, and it's not good keep using your credit cards over and over because life is expensive. You want to keep using your credit cards over and over and over. You make a payment, then you gotta use it again. You make a payment, then you gotta use it again. Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, and it sucks. Like, I like even before I had credit cards, I was having times harsh. struggling. I was still struggling. But yeah, it's hard. It is. Not that no, there wasn't that there people were going crazy, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. Yeah, I'm gonna show you, because a lot of people don't believe what I'm telling them. Look, look at my fridge. That's what I have. Dog food and stuff, cause everything's so fucking expensive. I have no money, so. Yep. I gotta wait 3 weeks. That's what I got right there. I don't even know what the hell is this. Like, that's why I tell people if they could donate $1 to, I don't mind, because every dollar counts. Like, I'm gonna have to start selling water bottles next summer, because in the streets it's just to make $1. See that? This is frozen food. I'm gonna put it there because I might have some later. And I have to drink tap water, which I don't really drink because, it's not really clean. But look, I have these frozen foods that Medicaid gives me. It's not great, but you better put it underneath here. It's better than nothing. I got some cream cheese. I can eat it like that if I get hungry. You do what you gotta do to survive, And Con Ed doesn't help. Like, my electricity is so expensive. Like, we was talking about it. Me last time I had to go to a budget plan because that is how expensive it is. Is either pay my electricity or my rent, and I can't pay both. Let me see if mine's work. Nope, I don't see it here. That's good. Maybe I'll get the update soon. I'm gonna start going. I'm gonna start going to the fruit pantry, guys, and y'all gotta come along with me, cause we're gonna look some up for tomorrow, and and try to go to the food pantry and just go live from there. I know it's man early. You gotta be there like at 5 in the morning. But I go the next day because I only ordered. I got ordered water because I was so good. That's what I could afford, just water and coffee. Maybe it's just iPhones for now. Maybe it's just iPhones. Maybe. Yeah, I don't like this Greek yogurt, but it's better than nothing. There's people that doing worse than us. Over there. Cause, Trust me, it doesn't taste good. Cause it's plain. But Tastes terrible. Because it's low fat. It doesn't have any fat. So, it doesn't taste that great. But, I'm going to eat it slowly. Let's look up food pantries around my neighborhood. Yeah, hit that like and subscribe button, guys. It helps my channel out. I'm at 1,057. I'm almost at 1.2. So, I'm trying to get my watch hours so I can start making money on YouTube. Guys, so. And if you don't want to give me money, you can always send me a gift card to my email on Amazon and for Amazon. I could buy food there too. You know. Look, I even collect receipts because this is app called Fetch, and they give you points. That's how I buy dog food for Alexa. You do what you have to do to survive, you know. You do what you have to do to survive. You know. I got a text message from somebody. Now I'm telling people, come to my chat. Oh boy. You heard they said that Savannah Guthrie might be in Mexico. That's crazy. Let me see if y'all got any updates about any case. Just send me it. Send me it. So we'll go over it here, guys. So if you want to go over any case with me, guys, you know, let me know. Yeah, somewhere under Guthrie, yeah. So let me look at not Savannah's. Why I get Savannah Nancy. Let me look up something. Nancy. Let me see. We got some updates here. I'm sure people want to know. Yep, I found it. This is 1 day ago, so.
They haven't connected this woman to Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. In fact, the Pima County Sheriff's Office confirmed to our team today the cases are not related. We're talking about this case because good investigations don't just look at the evidence. They look at the people, the patterns, the local criminal activity surrounding a case. Does Smith have any information about Nancy? Does her case provide investigators any answers or clues or leads as to what happened to Nancy?
What if the person who walked up to Nancy Guthrie's door thought he had erased himself before anyone could ever see his face? What if he planned for the cameras, the Wi-Fi, the neighbors, the angles, and the darkness, but missed one quiet piece of technology that he did not understand. Because that is the strange thing about this case. Whoever came to that door appeared to be careful. He did not move like someone who had wandered into the wrong place. He did not look like a man acting on a sudden impulse, with no thought about what could catch him. Everything about the way this case is now being discussed points toward preparation, planning, and a belief that the cameras would not be able to tell the story afterward. But something survived. A piece of footage investigators were not supposed to have, at least not if the person at the door understood the camera system correctly.
How you doing?
A piece of footage that showed more than a shadow. It showed a body shape, a face, a mustache, distinctive eyebrows, a pinky ring, and an object sticking out of the front pocket. It showed enough that the FBI put it in front of the public and asked people to look closely. That is where this story begins. Not with Nancy's full background, not with a long retelling of the first moments of her disappearance, but with the question investigators and analysts are still circling around now. Did the person at Nancy Guthrie's door try to blind every camera around him, only to leave behind the one image that could bring the whole thing down? The most chilling part of the Nancy Guthrie case is not just that cameras may have failed on the night she vanished. It is the possibility that they failed because someone wanted them to fail. That difference matters. A camera glitch is one thing. A bad internet connection is one thing. A random outage is one thing. But when multiple people in the same area begin reporting internet problems around the same critical window, and the camera closest to Nancy's home shows footage.
Yeah, I think she's dead too.
Welcome to True Crime AZ Live. I'm Nicole Kreitz with a special half-hour edition of True Crime AZ Live. We have some breaking news tonight in the Nancy Guthrie investigation. There is a massive search underway at the border, massive efforts tonight. A group of volunteers in Mexico are actively searching shallow graves near Nogales after getting a tip that Nancy Guthrie was buried there near Nogales. We're going to get to that in just a moment, but I'm doing a bit of multitasking here. Sorry for that off the top because I'm running my cell phone here, standing by. We've got a crew that is any moment now set to do a Zoom interview with the group Buscando Corazones Nogales. This is a group of volunteers in Nogales, and they're the ones who apparently got an anonymous tip that Nancy Guthrie was buried in a shallow grave there. They're Spanish speaking, so I've got a crew that's kind of standing by, and they're going to be texting me any updates that we get from that. We do have a crew that's working that for Nightside tonight, but I'm also trying to multitask and take your questions. So as you're watching and listening to our cases that we're covering tonight, if you've got any questions, send them my way, and I'm going to do my very best to get them answered and stay on top of that for you. But let's dive right into tonight's breaking news. This anonymous tip. Now, apparently, we're unclear. There are some reports that it may have come in as recently as yesterday. We don't know exactly when the tip came down, but we just got it confirmed to our newsroom in the last couple of hours that the 84-year-old mother of Today Show host Savannah Guthrie was buried in an unmarked shallow grave near the border, near Nogales. And this group, Buscando Corazones, is a group of volunteers that looks for missing people. And apparently they've been called in. They say that from April to May, they have searched that area in particular in Nogales, and they have found more than 24, 25 is what we're being told, graves. And from April to May, they searched them, and I believe they've run DNA tests, and otherwise none of them, they said in that time that they uncovered, were a match for Nancy Guthrie. Pima County Sheriff's Office has released a statement for us tonight confirming that they're aware of the reports regarding an anonymous tip related to the Nancy Guthrie investigation. It was provided to a group in Mexico. At this time, we've not been contacted by Mexican authorities. They're saying this investigation remains active and ongoing. We will continue to follow up on any credible information. It has been now 131 days since Nancy Guthrie was believed to have been abducted in the dark of the night on February 1st. And by now, you're all familiar with this eerie video from her front porch of a masked man wearing gloves and carrying a gun. I want to bring in Troy Hillman, who's a retired Phoenix police cold cases. He's worked many of them. He's in fact an author of a new true crime book, Chasing Down the Zombie Hunter. It's all about those canal murders that we're very aware of in the true crime world. But Troy, thank you for joining us tonight on this breaking news. Was this a shocker to you, hearing this latest development?
No, because I think this investigation has gone in so many directions. So for it to go, Tucson is very, close to the border. It wouldn't surprise me, but you just got to wait. I think everybody has to wait for the evidence to kind of roll in to, you'd have to confirm that, in fact, that was her, if they did find her. And then it's like, then you have to launch into, well, who did this, that aspect of the investigation.
Oh, man, we've been asking that for the last 131 days, that's for sure. But she went missing from her home. It's in Catalina Foothills, for folks who aren't familiar, the northern part of the Tucson area, which is roughly 70 miles, they say, more or less, from the Nogales border. There had always been claims, allegations, speculations, Troy, that she was perhaps taken south of the border. And we had heard multiple ransom notes that had been talking about this possibility. It's very frustrating not to know what to make sense of all the alleged tips that have come in, because you've got the FBI working the case, you've got Pima County working the case, and there was reportedly some infighting going on with that as well. But what are your thoughts on, a lot of people have said from the jump that when things went south, because we did find blood on her front porch, that didn't look good. And the family said from the very beginning, she couldn't survive long without the medications that she needed.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say that. I always told the families to maintain hope, but it's hard to say that she's still alive. And at this point, I think the investigators are looking for a deceased individual, just trying to find that grave or that spot.
He might be.
And it would make some degree of sense for her to be, because at this point, it's just she vanished. So that doesn't mean she could be in the desert somewhere.
I know you hear Sean B, but there's only one person.
That would
I hate this YouTube sometimes.
So, who knows at this point? But it is an interesting development for sure.
I know it's more than one person.
In a shallow
here,
grave,
but
it's impossible to know how bad the decomposition would be for remains at this point, if there are any identifying markers when it comes to clothes or otherwise. How long do you think, I know this is a priority case for the FBI, how long could it conceivably take if they find a body or remains that seem to match the physical
one person
height or otherwise, that they think this could be a match, this could be Nancy? How long to get that confirmation?
They have DNA capabilities that are pretty fast. They have rapid DNA, which can turn it around, sometimes in matters of hours.
Just
sometimes
doesn't like me.
They don't want to jump the gun, and they want to do, go through the right protocols. But it could be done rather quickly. And they can also look at dental records and that type of thing to point, if the body's too badly decomposed.
Okay, well, we're standing by to hear back from that group that's down in Nogales, actively searching those shallow graves to see if they are making any headway in that active search that's happening at the border. Troy Hillman, thank you so much for taking the time to give us a little perspective, and crossing our fingers, perhaps a little bit of hope in the Nancy Guthrie investigation. Keep those questions coming our way, friends, and we're going to check back after the break. But up next, the big case of Valley father who was murdered in cold blood while he was on a FaceTime call with his 2 young children. It's been 6 years, still no arrest. You're going to hear from his widow, who says renewed attention on the case is bringing new hope.
Wow, that's crazy. Who killed somebody because of that? That's crazy.
from Scottsdale was shot and murdered. There's still been no arrest despite the gunman being caught on surveillance cameras coming into his HVAC company, Gilbert Air, shooting him point blank in the back of his head while he was FaceTiming with his 2 young kids. Here's my conversation with his widow, Alicia. Alicia, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. Nick's case is getting a lot of renewed traction right now. There have been some national news stories, podcasts, lots of social media interest. And I know, friends, if you haven't followed her yet on TikTok and Instagram, it's at Noise for Nick. You have tens, if not hundreds of thousands of new followers and new views because of this renewed interest. What kind of reaction are you getting?
My reaction is I feel very hopeful. Like, I felt defeated for so many years with being silenced by Gilbert Police Department. And it came to a point where I felt like being quiet wasn't really helping. And once I started this TikTok and making noise, that's when it started getting a lot of attraction. And I feel so, I don't know if grateful is the word, but just appreciative that his case is finally in the limelight and it's getting the traction that it should have gotten. This entire time. It's made national headlines, and I hate that it's come to this, but I feel like this is what needs to happen in order for Gilbert to actually feel the pressure and make the necessary arrests. So I feel just grateful that his case is being out there and people are learning his name. It makes me really sad that there are people in my hometown, there's people in Scottsdale and Gilbert that they're commenting on the TikTok saying they've never even heard of this case, and this is in our backyard. Oh. And like, how do people not know who he is and what happened to him and what we've had to go through for the last 6 years fighting for justice that we should have had from day one?
You have been real transparent, walking us through the steps on your social media feeds, everything from, the grief, the frustration, the anger to, like you said, now this new glimmer of hope, and we're hopeful for it too, that perhaps after 6 years we might finally have some answers, crossing our fingers on that. You just went back to Nick's office for the first time just in this last week to, take some photographs for a crew that was working on another story on this. What was that like for you?
Going back to Gilbert Air, because I hadn't been back to his office since it was probably 2 weeks after he passed away. I went and collected his things. And then I did an interview with a guy named Tyson Draper, who was really active in Nick's case in the beginning on YouTube. And that was hard. And then I told myself, like, I'm never going to go back there. It's very triggering. And so when we've been in the area, I will purposely circle around those cross streets just to not have to go by his work.
For no reason.
But I was asked to go take photos, and it's been something that I felt like I've needed to do over the years. So it gave me a push to actually do it. But being there was so hard. I just was like reliving that day, and seeing the back of the office where they brought him out in a body bag was just tremendously hard. And then when I walked to the front office where the front door was, where I know he was laying right inside of that front door, so close to getting out, it made me really emotional because he should be here. And the fact that he was so close to getting out, it makes me really, really sad and just angry that's how this all played out, because he didn't deserve this. And
nobody deserves to be murdered.
It's hard.
It's hard to put ourselves in your shoes, even for an instant, to think that it's been 6 years and there have been no arrests. Have any of these online sleuthers, because people have now become fairly obsessed with the case, which you've been like raising a flag, like, hello, can we talk about this? Can we put some pressure on detectives to put some fire under it and try to, get somewhere in this investigation? Have you heard anything or new theories or people saying, oh, what about this? Or any possibilities like, hey, I recognize that suspect?
There have been a lot of people over the years that will send pictures or a video of someone, and unfortunately, everything that somebody has sent me, I know that it's not the guy from the gas station. I have examined that video and the pictures of him. There's people that look similar, but I'm like, no, that's not him. And there's people that have all kinds of crazy things that they message me, and a lot I don't even read. There's so many there's so many messages that I get on TikTok and Instagram. It's hard to keep up. But there was a woman that said that she called in the silent witness saying that she saw someone similar at Applebee's in town, and it was someone that knew someone that I knew. And so I was like feeling kind of hopeful for that. I felt hopeful about that. And then this is where it frustrates me with Gilbert Police Department, because I worry that they might get a silent witness tip that they don't even follow, because this woman said she called this in. When I asked them a month later, they hadn't even had anybody go down there to look at the surveillance footage. And then I'm thinking, well, how long did they keep surveillance footage? Do they even have the surveillance footage anymore? And when they finally had someone go in a month and a half later,
that's kind
the
of
bartender, or not the bartender, whoever was there said, oh, we don't recognize that person. Had they been in the next day when they got the silent witness tip, or I don't know how long it takes for that to process, but I just don't think that they are really following up on leads like they're saying that they are. And I think that they've really dropped the ball. And I think that there's a lot that they're just kind of brushing under the rug, and I'm not really sure exactly why, if it's to keep Gilbert the safest town, or if there's like negligence or incompetence or what exactly is going on, but it's just none of it makes sense.
So let's talk about the physical evidence, because not every case has video of the actual violent act. The shooting was caught on camera, but we know that the gunmen were wearing gloves, so there's no DNA from the scene. There is a very clear picture of the suspect who was caught on camera at the AM/PM, just 2 miles away from the scene, minutes after the shooting. What do you make of this guy?
I think it takes a very heartless person to be able to walk into a gas station minutes after you just were involved in murdering someone and acting like nothing even happened. I don't know how these men sleep at night. I don't know how that man could walk in there. I mean, just the way he nonchalantly walked in as if he wasn't just involved in a murder it takes a different kind of person, a heartless monster, to do something like that.
There is an overwhelming amount of circumstantial evidence in this case, things that your husband told you before he died, that if something happens, his business partner, Dave, had something to do with it, that Dave had made 2 big withdrawals. Your husband said, for personal debt, totaling $45,000. Was Nick talking about cutting ties with his business partner before he died?
Wow. Yeah, Nick didn't bring a lot of his work home. He worked long hours, so when he came home, the focus was always on the kids and me and being present and just, enjoying our time together. But in probably starting like end of December, he started coming home saying that he felt like somebody was following him, and I just blew him off. I wish now that I would have listened to him. I don't know what could have changed if I had said, oh, well, maybe we hire somebody to see if someone's following. I don't know. You always are thinking about the what ifs, or what could I have done in a situation like this. But he had said he thought someone was following him, and I just was like, you're being paranoid. And then he told me about these 2 large withdrawals and how upset he was. That was in March and April. And after he had told me earlier, prior to that, that if anything happened to him, that Dave had him taken out, the guy who sold Nick the company said, like, he's not a good guy. And he, like, good luck being in business with him. And Nick's like, I can handle it. I don't think he ever thought there was going to be anything like this that would happen.
So speaking of, we pulled court records from county court, state court, and federal court, and we did find they detailed 2 multi-million-dollar life insurance policies that name the business partner as a person of interest. And it also brings up the death of his estranged wife 7 years before Nick's death. Laura Sweetman was a pediatric neurologist. She was a Valley top doc for many years. And after she discovered him cheating and fathering a child out of wedlock, she files for divorce. And then later that year is found dead in the bathtub at home. Now, the medical examiner has ruled her cause of death undetermined, and he has her cremated. I tried to reach out to Dave Sweetman. I spoke with his fiance. She is upset that this case is being brought up now. She says Laura's death was a tragedy, nothing more. And while he was arrested for domestic violence when she tried to leave him, that he was never charged with anything. I asked Gilbert Police if this case was still open. They tell me that it is technically inactive right now. They said that detectives have pursued all available investigative leads based on the evidence. Should new information come to light, the case can be reactivated. But there is a newly released, nearly 90-minute audio recording where his wife at the time, Laura, gave it to deputies when she tried to leave him, and she had this exchange. She wasn't sure how he was going to respond. What it does give us is a wife of 20 years confronting her husband about infidelity, and it does bring up questions of his character from someone who's been with him for more than 20 years. She says, what about the fire, Dave? Did you have anything to do with that? All your business dealings are illegal. So she says this. Dave Sweetman's fiance adamantly denies that he had anything to do with Nick's death. She says he was also a victim in this, that not only was he pistol whipped, but he had some broken fingers, that they've done anything and everything they can to try to find Nick's killer. And they said, now that they're being harassed by these online sleuths who, because the story is gaining so much traction and people are kind of connecting those dots, what happened to this murder or this questionable death of his wife in 2013? And he has her cremated. And now 7 years later, his business partner also collects an insurance policy on his death here. She says that they're getting blitzed by bad reviews on Yelp and on Google, and that people are being hyper focused on one person. What do you make of her response there?
I think she's just covering for him. I don't believe anything that she said. He didn't have broken fingers. He didn't even seek medical attention afterwards. And multiple people who work in Gilbert Air said he didn't even have any bump on his head a few days later. So that's a lie. And I don't know why they're trying to play the victim in this, because the only one that is a victim is my husband.
I asked Gilbert Police with the latest on the case, and they said that they are doing what they can to be meticulous and deliberate about what we share publicly to protect the outcome of the case, to ensure the investigation is thorough enough to bring meaningful accountability. So I also mentioned to Dave's fiance, I said, each one of these oddities, the $45,000 missing from the work account, all these other things, him making claims that, you know, he's fearful of Dave, or if something were to happen, you know, or the death of his wife in 7 years prior, each of those individually might be an oddity, but together, what does that add up to? You filed a police report against Dave, accusing him of forging your signature on some of those insurance filings.
Yes. So a couple of months after Nick passed away, I had hired a lawyer because Dave was trying to fight with me for insurance money. He claimed I was going to get a certain amount, which my husband would have agreed on. And once I said, I'm not signing off on this, and I don't even know what I'm going to do with this insurance policy, I don't know for sure, but my lawyer submitted our paperwork to file our claim. His is obviously separate. And one of the investigators for the insurance company calls my lawyer and says, there's already been paperwork submitted for Alicia. She sent these by mail, and we emailed them. And so they sent over the documents, and I had to get on a Zoom with an investigator, and I already knew those weren't mine. I never mailed them in. I didn't sign anything except for the ones that my lawyer had emailed over. And so I said, these are forged. I didn't sign these. And they said, is there anyone who you think would have forged your signature? And there's only one person that would have benefited from doing so. So I filed a police report, and they apparently spoke with Dave, and he said that he didn't mail them in, and then it was his word against mine, so nothing ever came of those forgery charges.
Yeah, it was basically he said, she said. But when you watch the video of Nick's murder and saw Dave peeking out the blinds as the truck of the killers approached the business, and then he just goes back inside, that also makes your gut churn. I know, Alicia, that you have promised to stay loud on this, and that's the whole premise of this, is make noise for Nick. But I want to bring it back to
That's fucked up.
how this social media has been a little cathartic for you by sharing, you know, what you and what your kids go through, the everyday life that, you know, you're connecting with widows who you're like, I never asked to be a part of this club. And I want to share a little bit of a sample of some of the precious videos that you have been brave enough to share. Take a look at this.
Daddy's baby boy sleeping in his arms. And his daddy's baby boy right there. Always and forever. Cruz, I love you. I love you, Cruzy. It's my son.
It's impossible to, quantify the missed milestones. You just had Cruz and Capri's graduation from 5th and 8th grade. And I can't imagine what you guys have gone through, but it's an amazing act of bravery that you guys have continued to stay loud for the cause and stay hopeful despite 6 years of waiting. Alicia, thank you for talking with us tonight. And hopefully, maybe someone out there will have some answers and come forward to share the bravery to get you the answers you deserve.
Thank you.
I hope she gets answers that she deserves too.
So again, her handle on TikTok and Instagram is @Noise4Nick. And Gilbert police say that this immense interest in the case so far hasn't generated an influx of calls to silent witness or their offices. But I'm going to put up those numbers again for you right now because you never know. And again, take a look at how clear this photograph is. You don't see this every day. This is a murder suspect, and it's clear as day. Somebody has to know who that man is. So those are the two numbers on the screen. They're taking in those tips. And again, there's a $20,000 reward. Gilbert police stressing that just because they can't disclose a lot doesn't mean they're not gaining traction and still working all those other leads and looking at things. Earlier, we did get a Nancy Guthrie update, and so we did get some questions from folks asking where that group in Nogales is searching, and did the tip come in by phone or by email? Oh, okay, and look at that. I told you I was multitasking. This is with my producer who is listening to the Zoom that our crew is doing in the newsroom. They confirmed there are 10 to 15 volunteers searching shallow graves right now, and it was a phone call. It was a man who said, go look in the area. That is where the missing woman from Tucson is. It was an anonymous phone call. And if you think about how wild this is, it's been 113 days that we have been searching for Nancy Guthrie, and how quickly this case, hopefully this could be the thing that could find Nancy Guthrie finally. And then you think of Nick Cordova's case, 6 years. Let's get to work and solve these cases. We'll see you back here with more True Crime AZ Live next Thursday.
Wow, that's sad. That's very sad. All right, guys, I'll be back later, Sean B. Thank you for joining me. Bye.